It's Saturday, April the 11th, and this is our last devotional for Holy Week because tomorrow is Easter. So we're excited about what God has been teaching us. Today's topic is Jesus' burial. And so I want you to listen to these verses from our church family, and then we'll discuss kind of two things that we can learn from them, and then we'll do an activity together.
But they did not understand the statement which he made to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and he continued in subjection to them. And his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus kept increasing in wisdom and stature and favor with God and men.
All right, John 19:40. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with spices and strips of linen. This was in accordance with Jewish burial customs.
All right, so one of the things that I learned is as Jesus has died on the cross for us, his body needs to be prepared for burial. And he had two friends that kind of took charge and decided to take care of him. They brought spices and oils to prepare his body to be put in the tomb. In fact, the Bible talks about they brought a lot of spices, 75 pounds worth of spices and oils. And when we look at that, we think, gosh, that's at that time was very expensive. So it shows their love for him, their care for him. I think it was sweet that he had friends that even in his death wanted to care for him. The second thing that I kind of stood out to me in those verses was that they were preparing his body for burial. They thought that was the end, that would be Jesus' final resting spot, that they wouldn't see him again, that he would be in that tomb, and that they had no idea that he was going to rise from the dead. They had no idea that that tomb would actually be empty. And so I think it's kind of crazy how sometimes we make plans and we have the thoughts of what we think is going to happen in the future, but God has different plans, and they're better plans than even what we could imagine. And these men thought, okay, we're going to wrap him and bury him with these spices, and that's where he will lay. That will be his final resting place. But it's cool to know that God has other plans and even better plans for us at times. So our activity today is going to be a little different. We're going to have to use our ovens. So if you want to keep this activity till later tonight, we really kind of need to do it right before bedtime. So if you want to come back to this video, we'll post the recipe online, but I want to kind of give you some details of what you're going to want to do. So before you start preparing for the cookies that we're going to make, you're going to turn your oven on 300 and get it all the way heated up to 300. And what the supplies you're going to need is you're going to need a cup of pecans, and just put them in a plastic bag, kind of like this. You'll need some vinegar. You'll need a teaspoon of vinegar. And then you'll need salt. You need 1 pinch of salt. And then you'll have to have 3 egg whites. So you'll take 3 eggs and just get the egg whites out of them and not the yolk. And then you'll also need 1 cup of sugar. So I got all these supplies together, and then before bedtime we made these cookies. So this is what you're going to do. Without the pecans, you're going to mix everything else together into a bowl. You're going to mix it like 12 to 15 minutes. It's going to get very, very stiff and have these like peaks in it. And that means it's ready. So once you've gotten it to that place, then you're going to put in the pecans and just kind of fold them in. You don't want to really mix a whole lot. Just kind of with a spoon, just kind of fold them into your mixture. And what you're going to do is spoon them onto a baking sheet, and it's going to look like little rocky tombs. Okay, and that's the goal, is for it to kind of have these little peaks at the top. You're going to spoon them on there, dump them on there. And these peaks, looking like tombs, you're going to put them on this baking sheet, and then you're going to put it into your oven, and you're going to turn your oven off. Okay, so do not put the cookies in while the oven is going. Just put them in and then turn the oven completely to off. And then you're going to take some tape and you're going to tape shut your tomb. Okay, so what we're pretending is that this is a tomb that has something very important inside, just like we put Jesus, so they put Jesus in the tomb, and then we're gonna tape it up. And we just, at our house, just put a big X over the oven, like it is a closed, sealed tomb. Because what'll happen is overnight, while the oven's off, overnight those cookies will rise, and they will also create this open space on the inside of the cookie. So when the kids or the family or you wake up the next morning, you're going to open this tomb, pull all the tape off, it's Easter morning, and you'll notice that these cookies, when you break them open, are completely empty on the inside. So that's pretty cool, because it's exciting to think, man, the tomb was empty. It was a complete surprise. People did not expect that. God had a different plan, and it was a better plan. It was a much better plan than any of us could have imagined. And so when you open those cookies and they're empty, talk to the kids or talk to your family and discuss about how the surprises that God does in our lives are better than we could ever imagine. It's immeasurably more than we could ask or imagine. And so that's the exciting part of Easter. Easter morning, waking up and opening the empty cookie and talking about the empty tomb. And so as you close today and you've made cookies or you want to pray right before bedtime, just pray and thank God for the surprises that he gives us. That this things that we have planned and maybe that we've even prepared for, like a vacation or a trip or an activity, how sometimes those plans change and how he has even better plans for us. He is not surprised when those things get changed. He has great plans for us, and excited about Easter coming and about getting to celebrate what he has done for us, the salvation that he brought, the forgiveness that he brought, the new life that he gives us through Jesus. We thank him for that as you pray tonight, and we will see you at Easter service. Excited. Bye.